Psst. Imagine you're Cristiano Ronaldo. See you.
5 Ballon d'Ors, a living six-pack with its own statue. And suddenly you're no longer on the cover of FIFA, but the highest-paid meme in soccer history. Instead of magical Champions League nights, you're taking selfies with Saudi princes. You left Real Madrid and ruined everything. In 2018, you played your last game for Real Madrid, a Champions League final. Your name echoes through the Bernabeu. You are immortal. Legendary status, eternity, untouchability. 2025. Your biggest opponent is no longer Messi, but Ahmed, who mixes date smoothies in the morning and tries to stop you from scoring goals in the evening. You once celebrated triumphs at the Bernabeu. Now you play in stadiums that are so empty that you can greet every fan personally. You lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling and asking yourself, was it worth it? You used to be a god, now you're just a joke. Even your reflection in the mirror seems to laugh at you now. You think back, your first goal for Manchester United, the Champions League final against Chelsea, winning the European Championship with Portugal. You used to be an inspiration for millions. Today, you only inspire meme pages. A bitter contrast. You think Saudi Arabia is the low point? You thought wrong. Your descent begins much earlier, with a decision that feels like a failed career change into a parallel world. Your move to Juventus. You leave Real Madrid for 100 million and move to Juve. Sounds like Champions League football. But there's a problem. Instead of Marcelo, who adores you, there are Italian midfielders who would rather drink espresso than play fast counterattacks. Your explosive runs? As rare as a Juventus Champions League title. Your dribbles? As predictable as your next Instagram post in your underpants. Behind the scenes, the media are merciless. Is Ronaldo still world-class, or is he just living off his name? And then the low point. Juventus no longer want you. While you're out of Juventus, Messi wins the Copa America, later the World Cup, and even another Ballon d'Or. Your rivalry was epic, but now it's like Messi is dancing at a party you're no longer invited to. You always thought you decided for yourself when to go, but suddenly everyone is treating you like a hot potato. Real Madrid? Thanks, Cristiano, but we prefer players whose birth certificate isn't from the last century. Bayern? No aged superstars, sorry. PSG? Sorry, our ego limit is full. Manchester United are in touch. They want you back, but Georgina wants stability. The children don't want to move. Later that evening, you come home. Exhausted. Frustrated. Georgina is sitting at the table, annoyed. Your children are staring at their smartphones as if you were just another background character in their lives. You're looking for recognition, for a sign that you're still important to someone. What do you think about me playing for Manchester United again? You ask your eldest son. He lifts his head for a second, keeps scrolling on TikTok and says casually, I don't know, Dad. Mbappé is the best now. These words hit you harder than any defeat. You used to inspire millions. Now you're not even the hero of your own family. Then your son says something else that catches you off guard. Dad, you're almost retired anyway. Wouldn't you rather start playing golf, like the other old footballers? It stings. Deeper than every headline, every whistle, every coaching decision. You choose Manchester United. Not because it's the best option, but because your pride is greater than your pace of play. It's not a fresh start. It's a superstar's midlife crisis, only without a sports car, but with a team that no longer needs you. You return to United like an ex-girlfriend. The memory was beautiful. The reality, toxic. The stadium shakes. 2 goals in your first game. The fans chant your name. The cameras zoom in on your beaming face. Goosebumps. It feels like the old days, like you've never been away. But soccer is a marathon, not a sprint. And you're no longer the Ronaldo who always won this marathon. The tone changes after just a few weeks. The passes you used to reach are now a step too far. You're pressing? Hardly there. Ten Hag furrows his brow. The first substitution comes. Then a place on the bench. Then another game without a goal. The fans who celebrated you at the beginning soon realize that you are running less than a FIFA server at the weekend. The cheers become quieter, the headlines more critical. It's the 70th minute. United are 2-0 down. You're sitting on the bench and thinking about which Instagram quote you're going to post after the game. Then the coach waves, But not for you. Instead, he brings on a teenager who was only 5 when you won your first Ballon d'Or. It hits you like a blow. You used to make history. Now you're a side note in someone else's story. There's only one way to go from here. Down. You lose your confidence and your place. Frustration grows. Interviews become sharper. You need a way out. You make frantic phone calls to your advisor. Atletico Madrid? Really, Ronaldo? Dortmund? Too old. Marseille? Just hang up. Europe has finally discarded you. In desperation, you pick up the phone yourself. Mourinho says dryly, "Cristiano, I like drama, but this is too much even for me." Guardiola is friendly but clear. "I admire you, Cristiano, but I prefer players who press instead of being depressed." Klopp laughs loudly into the phone. "Is that a prank call? Ronaldo? Really?" Legends like Zlatan Ibrahimovic mock you publicly. Cristiano should have retired with dignity. Now he looks like a lion trying to roar one last time. But you can't let it sit on you. The world has given up on you, but you won't give up on the world. There must still be a stage for you, a microphone that belongs to you. And then you find it, not on the pitch, but in a perfectly lit TV studio. Piers Morgan beams at you like a child in front of a Christmas tree. You're no longer the GOAT on the pitch, but at least you're his biggest interview coup. You lean back, take a dramatic breath, and say, "I don't respect Erik ten Hag." You officially score the worst own goal of your career, live in front of millions of viewers. United throw you out like a drunken fan. No farewell game, no memorial. Just the door. The media dissect you with surgical precision. British newspapers call you the most expensive museum attraction in soccer history. In Spain, a newspaper headlines, "CR7, former world footballer, now walking dead." There's a vote on social media. Who's more irrelevant, Cristiano or the guy who made Gangnam Style? The press, once your biggest fan, has made you the main character in their latest sports dramedy. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, you suddenly find yourself in a completely new role. Not as a legend on the pitch, but as the most expensive souvenir of Saudi soccer. You used to hold up the biggest trophies in the world. Now you're holding an oversized check up to the camera and pretending to be happy. Al-Nassr pays you 100 million for games against amateur footballers whose shirt number is higher than their salary. You used to shout at Sergio Ramos at corner kicks. Now you argue with referees who are your fans. Georgina scrolls through Instagram. Instead of Gucci events, now it's invitations to luxurious date degustations and discount codes for the latest premium camel saddle. Your kids? Watching Champions League highlights. Without you. And you? You're sitting in your golden palace, scrolling through old YouTube videos of yourself, and wondering if they're still real. Your everyday life in Saudi Arabia is characterized by bizarre rituals. You train alone in the heat while assistants desperately try to imitate the luxury training in Madrid. You drive through the desert in gold-plated cars, are bored to death, and try to simulate glamour. In an interview, you desperately claim, "I've always wanted to play in Saudi Arabia. The Champions League is completely overrated anyway." Everyone immediately realizes that you don't believe it yourself, and deep down you know that this isn't even close to your world. Sometimes you meet fans who say to you, "I was your biggest fan at Real Madrid. It's a shame you've stopped." You have to explain to them that you're actually still playing. Formerly Nike, now you advertise sandals made of camel leather and protein shakes that taste like dates. Your face is emblazoned on posters that people make fun of. Welcome to media purgatory. Even Portugal, once your safe haven, is slowly turning away. Younger players take over. Your last big performance, a frustrating World Cup exit in which you are just a spectator. Even your own nation bids you farewell with a shrug instead of a standing ovation. If you had never left Real Madrid, you might still be the king. Now you're just a memory of what used to be, in 4K and for all to see.